Just to start, I wanted to ask, with your debut feature, Hunger, which we had the privilege of screening here at TIFF a few years ago, you took on an overtly political and ideological subject matter. Now with Shame, the film seems to be equally political, if not more so, but in a much more subtle way. And I'm wondering what motivated you to take on this subject matter and in this way.
It was just having discussions with Abby Morgan, the co-writer, and we was talking and just through a long conversation. And what it was is, I started off the conversation. We said I just want to make a love story, and I wanted to put down the gun. I mean, every film, has a gun and it's revenge and all kind of nonsense. But there's so much stuff going on, indoors, not being sorted. I thought, let's talk about that. And we talked about the internet and this whole idea of sort of pornography on the internet and how accessible it is. The whole idea of sexual addiction as such, and how accessible sexual images are sort of to us every day. 2 clicks on your computer and you're in. And it just sort of snowballed from there, really. And it was just sort of fascinating, again, I was also thinking about Last Weekend, Billy Wilder film about alcohol addiction. I thought, interesting, a film about addiction, but this character needs another person to fulfill his addiction. I thought, that's interesting, there's drama right there.
And now we'll open it up to the floor. Are there any questions? Yes, right here. The question is about, before you do long takes, do you do rehearsals? Do you rehearse a lot? And whether or not you get in front of the camera yourself? Is that behind the camera?
It's kind of very difficult. I mean, we plan things out. I mean, what happens is, I sort of see what Michael wants to do, what Sean wants to do, and then we sort of work together on it, really. So it's kind of it's a rehearsal, but it's not a rehearsal because, again, Michael might want to go left, we have to go left. Nicole might want to go right, we have to go right. So it's loose. It has to be loose in order to sort of work with actors. I'm not interested in choreographic sort of, hand here, arm there, what kind of nonsense. You hire actors because they're geniuses and they can do a great job. So you follow them and see what they do, and you pick up. And obviously the cinematographer, Sean Bobbitt, who has been working for 10 years, he has a sort of instinct, inane idea of how to do that. And we discussed, and we talk about images a lot. So I don't go behind the camera when I talk about painting images, and the whole idea of the widescreen. I just love the idea of an intimate situation, but you're still using the widescreen to sort of fill the space, because there's always a relationship with another object or another thing in that frame. So it's always a relationship. There's always a relationship going on within the frame.
Any other questions? Yes, over here.
Hi.
The question is, what draws you, Michael, to Steve McQueen's work?
He's a handsome man. Well, it was like, the first time I met him, really, I just sort of realized that there was somebody sort of special sitting in front of me, somebody who had sort of real empathy, somebody who really loved human beings and liked asking questions about, why we're here, and how we relate to each other, and how we relate to ourselves. And I just knew that, I was going to learn something from him, and that, I must work with this man.
Another question. Yes, over there.
First of all, Michael Fasbender, acting god. In my art history curiosity, but I saw some Roy Lichtenstein images there. Do you have any other sort of or do you have any other influences
I mean, by coincidence, I'm not thinking of that. I mean, I'm not thinking about Lichtenstein, I'm not thinking about Einstein, I'm not thinking about Scorsese, I'm thinking about Coppola when I'm making a film. It's an interesting question, because often I get asked that question. Do you think about, when I'm in a little shot, I ain't thinking about that. I'm thinking, how can I do the best thing possible here at this moment? And it's just about the frame, it's about the characters, the actors, and lighting and so forth. Yeah.